Warm welcome to Horse Talk, where we are going to talk about three things you must not do if your horse has separation anxiety. And separation anxiety is quite common in horses because they are, after all, herd animals. So it's not something that is uncommon to experience with your horse. It's completely natural, but it's also the cause of many problems like spooking, bucking, bolting, lack of focus, rearing, and the horse being stubborn. So all these behaviors can have its cause in the horse feeling insecure when away from other horses, or not wanting to leave other horses, or wanting to rush to other horses. But we don't necessarily see that as the underlying cause, and thus we are not necessarily able to solve these problems without solving the separation anxiety, which is the cause of these problems. So it doesn't really matter if you desensitize your horse to flapping plastic and whatnot. If your horse is spooking because of separation anxiety, your horse is not going to be confident until you have solved the separation anxiety. Yep, so this is very common, but there are definitely three things you must not do if your horse has separation anxiety. And I think number one is trying to solve it by putting your horse alone in a stall. So go like, okay, my horse freaks out when alone, so I'm gonna put the horse alone in a stall and, see if the horse can figure this out for himself. And that tends to make the separation anxiety worse, because now the horse is alone and feeling anxious. And the more the horse is alone and feeling anxious, the more the horse is going to have separation anxiety. And the horse is also then going to associate being alone in the stable with being anxious. So horses, they are very associative learners. So simply putting your horse alone in a stall isn't going to solve it. It's probably going to make your horse associating the stall with anxiety even more and become even more nervous. And there's another thing that many people do, and that is to basically just avoid the problem altogether by having the friend horse and your horse together at all times. So you sometimes see this at clinics and shows and such, that, one horse arrives and there's another horse there as well all the time. And this is basically because the horse is going to freak out if the other horse isn't there. And I don't think that's a solution to the problem, because there will come a day where you cannot have these two horses together anymore. And there's a third thing that I also see make separation anxiety worse, and that is to reunite the horses when your horse is anxious. So I see this sometimes. It's like, oh my God, my horse is freaking out. Quickly bring the friend to calm him down. And obviously, if your horse's reason to find calmness is the other horse or the other horses, then that is definitely going to fuel the separation anxiety and make it even worse. And I think it's very often also the cause of separation anxiety is that horse is nervous and alert and becomes calm when then together with the other horses or together with the other horse. So this makes then the horse associate other horses with feeling relaxed and being away from the other horses with feeling anxious. So it's a bit like if, red wine can be to some women. Yes. Like if we feel anxious and we have a glass of wine and that glass of wine calms us down, we can quickly, develop an addiction to red wine. But if we take a glass of red wine when we are having a good time and we feel comfortable, we don't necessarily become dependent on the wine to feel good. So think of it as red wine. Yes, you want your horse to be calm and confident and happy and relaxed when united with the other horses, not stressed out and then finding calmness when together with the others. So let me know in the comments below if your horse has had or has separation anxiety. And this is nothing to be ashamed of, by the way. I monitor my horses all the time in terms of separation anxiety. And the other day, the farrier was here and he was shoeing the horses. And I took then one of the horses out into the paddock while the other stayed in the stable. And guess what that other horse did? He started, spinning around, neighing, and was, feeling a bit anxious as all the other horses were in the stable and he was then alone in the paddock. And then I thought, I actually had a little suspicion that this horse had a little bit of separation anxiety. And now I got that suspicion confirmed. So now I know that he actually has it. And I also know what to do to solve it. I didn't go and quickly grab a horse from the stable and put out together with him to calm down. No, I actually went out to him. I did groundwork to calm him down so that he found calmness. And I gave him some hay so that he was comfortable in the paddock alone. And then I introduced the other horses. Yes, and if you want to know the exact groundwork I do to solve separation anxiety, and also what kind of routines I have in the stable to, avoid it from popping up again and to solve it, in a lasting way, we now have a free training on ridelikeaviking.no/trust, where you get everything you need to succeed with solving separation anxiety. And you can also comment yes below this video and I will send you the link on DM. And this particular training features a mare with severe separation anxiety. At one time, she was on a clinic or a show and she hurt herself badly when her horse friend left the stable. And she tried to, jump out of the stall and ended up with a severe injury. And after that, the owner decided to never ever separate the horses again. So this had been going on for years and I took it upon me to help them solve it. And 3 sessions with this groundwork and some, particular routines, and she was able to be alone in the stable and eat hay. So that's actually how quickly you can solve it when you know what to do and what not to do. And obviously putting her alone in the stable would not have solved it. And also reuniting her with her friend when she got upset would also not have solved it. But what solved it is what I share with you in the free training that you can get by commenting yes below. Absolutely free of charge. And I'm looking very much forward to seeing you there, because I know if you have some kind of minor problems with your horse, a little bit of spooking or some stubbornness or lack of focus in general and anxiety, then this training is gonna solve it, because it's very likely that your horse has a little bit of separation anxiety. They are, after all, herd animals. And that was it for this horse talk. And thank you so much for joining, and looking very much forward to seeing you there. Bye for now.